Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fandom Post Radio Podcast. I am your host this week, Kate, and joining me is DJ.
Hello!
And Kestrel.
Wait, I thought I'd go first now.
I did that from my brain. So
yeah, I was ready to not go first, and then it happened, and I'm happy to be back.
Because I was staring at time.is instead of the Discord channel, so I did that from my memory, which is somehow still working.
Joining me on this episode is 731.
Nah. Nobody wants to hear from them. Let's see. We have news. I think news is about all we have to talk about this week, unless you guys have something cool that you want to share.
Define cool, because I don't normally have anything cool to talk about, but I can talk about anime.
Well, I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, is anime cool anymore?
We're losers. Was it ever?
Well, it is cool now, isn't it?
I don't know.
Actually, yeah, you're kind of right. It is cool.
It's mainstream now.
Like, yeah.
It's mainstream. It's more mainstream. It's mainstream enough. People know what the Pokemons are.
Pikachu.
There you go. We have news. We've been... Did we do a podcast 2 weeks ago, or was that 3 weeks?
Kestrel and I did.
Yeah, you did. I've been deep in census land, so I don't even know where I am anymore. I know where all you are, though, and all of your personal information.
I hope not.
No, just the people around me. So, what do we got, Kestrel? You have the first item on the news docket.
Yeah, so the first Kyoto Animation TV anime since the arson attack a little over a year ago, is scheduled to come in about a year from now. It is the second season of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Unfortunately, that was originally planned to be directed, as the first season was, by Yasuhiro Takemoto, but he was probably the most prominent person to have died in the attack. So no word on who is going to be directing it in his place, but it will still be KyoAni doing the animation. And around the same time, they also confirmed that the new Free movie would be coming in 2021 as well, I think around the same time. So yeah, it's good to see them back in action, and the Violet Evergarden movie, the one that's not just a side story, has been delayed a bunch of times between obviously the arson and then COVID and everything else. That's supposed to be released later this year, so that'll be kind of their first return of a new production that was kind of made after all that went down, at least in part. But yeah, this will be the first TV anime.
I'm glad to see they're back up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, they, along with the trauma and so many of the people there being injured and probably not wanting to return to it, they lost such a huge fraction of their entire workforce, and, they have such a distinctive house style that they've trained into everyone, so they can't just pick up anyone and have them immediately be able to be a KyoAni staffer in the same way. And then their most prominent animator, who had been like their top training person, who's a old veteran in the industry, also died in the whole arson attack, so they don't have like the leader of their training either.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, fuck that guy.
Well, he's pretty fucked, yeah.
What's the deal with him? Has he been sentenced yet? Because I
Yes.
haven't been... What happened?
They railed him in a stretcher and to be sentenced. He was fucked up looking.
I mean, I think they just finally arrested him, right?
Yeah.
After, like, a year.
Yeah. Yeah, they spent a lot of time saving his life and probably a lot of money saving his life, so only so that they can put him to death. Essentially.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, it seems counterproductive.
Well, doctors got a doctor.
That's true.
They don't get to be judge, jury, and executioner.
No.
Yeah, Japan still has the death penalty, don't they?
Yep.
Yeah, very rarely used, but
if nothing ever fucking happens there.
right. If there's anyone who's going to deserve it, it's the guy responsible for, the biggest act of mass murder since the war.
Ugh.
Yeah.
All over some stupid delusion they stole his shit. Yay.
Well,
that was depressing.
On the bright side, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid's a really happy show, and I'm sure it'll make a bunch of people happy. And I still don't know why I never watched it.
You should watch it.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
You should watch all the KyoAni you haven't seen.
It's like pretty pseudo Yuri too, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Girls kissy girls. Kissy
yeah,
girls,
that sounds like my favorite thing. So.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not on that already.
Yeah, I am well aware. I have one friend who has been trying to beat me into watching it for a long time. And we all know how long it takes to convince me to watch anything.
So, in other words, Becca has to put it on.
Basically.
Oh, that's my new favorite pastime, is watching your girlfriend get mad at you. On Twitter.
Yeah. it's funny. She doesn't pay much attention to my Twitter, but anytime it does, it's just to berate me.
You're like, this is the happiest moment of my life or something, and she's like, really?
Oh. It's fun. She's in the Discord for my game too, and she just constantly searches for the word girlfriend to see if she's mentioned at any parts.
Hilarious.
So,
due diligence.
Gotta be on the lookout.
God's girlfriend.
Oh, and wait, where are you going with that?
One KyoAni based piece of news. I have no other news at all, and I don't know what else you guys have.
Oh, we have stuff. In more depressing, people squandering their lives for really stupid fucking reasons. The writer of Act Age was arrested for indecent assault.
Ooh, I did hear that. Yeah, they caught him on the fucking a security camera groping some underage girl or something.
Twice.
Yep.
That's bad.
I feel really bad for the poor artist of that series. Yeah. Oh man, she's probably just well, the good thing is she's a good artist, so she'll get picked up for something else. But man, can you imagine?
That was a highly regarded manga too. People are into that. I almost started reading it a few months ago.
Yeah, after Haikyuu ended, I was like, let me see what the highest rated Weekly Shonen Jump manga are in that are currently running. And on my anime list, it was obviously One Piece was first, and then Hunter x Hunter, but that doesn't count. And then second place was tied between My Hero Academia and Act Dodge, and I was like, whoa, really? Because I read the first 3 chapters when it started, and I was like, yeah, whatever, and didn't read any more. But apparently it was good, so I was like, maybe I should start reading it. And then a week later, it's Act Dodge creator molests middle school girls. Cool.
Guess I'm not reading that.
Guess no one's reading it.
Yeah, and it's funny because Jump's been a little wishy-washy. Japanese Jump's been a little wishy-washy on their people, doing bad things and then basically getting off with a slap on the wrist. They went scorched earth on this guy.
Yeah, well, they had actual footage of it happening, so it's
they caught the Kenshin artist with the discs.
Yeah, I mean, this is worse because the guy is actively, assaulting young girls. But yeah, Watsuki was arrested for having child porn. They knew he had child porn, and now they're trying to make a comeback with him, where they're having Oda do publicity for him and be like, "Hey, Oda, have an interview with your old boss Watsuki, so everyone knows how great he is." And also, here's a thing that not many people know. Remember Toriko?
Oh yeah.
They tried to make that the next One Piece for a while there. No one really cared, but they tried to make it really big for a while. And before they ever gave that guy a chance at starting Toriko, he was arrested for soliciting child prostitution. And then
Jesus
and then they let him
What the
start his
hell's
career
going on over there?
Yeah. Like, they let him start from scratch after all that shit happened. He wasn't even, like, a big name. So, yeah, I'm kind of
They're
surprised.
desperate for talent.
I guess so.
Yeah, but
I guess this is a good sign that they're moving in the right direction finally.
Yeah, finally. I mean, those were bad looks. And they still have, like, to be fair, like, Viz has not put up with any of this bullshit.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, they didn't, like, not publish Tory Code because of the guy's past, but at least they stopped doing the new Kenshin.
Yeah.
Where Jump continued it in Japan.
And, yeah, and this was full scorched earth. Like, within, like, a very short amount of time, all digital copies had been pulled. Serialization was ceased. The digital copies were pulled down from storefronts. Like, just like full, like, this doesn't exist anymore. So,
yeah,
it's gone.
Which, like, I mean, kind of sucks in a way, but I feel like, I don't know, if they could just give all the profits to the artist, like, if you could still read this and support the artist and not be supporting the author, I think that would be fine. Like, and unless it's a series about, you know, molesting middle school girls, then I don't know. I wouldn't feel that wrong reading it, other than the fact it doesn't have an ending, obviously.
Yeah, I guess the problem is because of the way the artists maintain their control over their IPs and stuff. Yeah, the editors have a lot of say over like the actual direction of series, but the artists maintain control of basically the properties. So I guess there was really no way around it. Like,
yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It's just unfortunate that it couldn't still be available and still be able to support just the artist and not the author.
Like, if it had been like an American comic book company, they would have just put a different writer on it.
Yeah.
And nothing would have changed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is a situation where, you know, if you feel morally wrong with reading it, then I totally get that. But I feel ethically okay with you pirating it if you don't feel morally wrong with reading it, because it's at the point where it's impossible to read otherwise, and, you know, art shouldn't be destroyed.
True, but you'll also never get an ending to that stuff because it's ceased existence.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's like the first episode of Osamatsu-san, like that I have no problem telling people they can pirate it, because it was just, you know, bullshit copyright infringement, which, like, I don't get why that was a big deal. It did a fraction of what Gintama does every episode. And
I get
taken down from everywhere.
Yeah, that was super weird. I guess the reason was, I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't know why. Yeah.
What happened with Osamatsu-san? Because I don't know this story.
It was just like the first
they
episode.
They parodied a bunch of stuff in the first episode or whatever, and then, like, I don't. They must have offended somebody somehow.
Pissy about it.
That's like literally what Pop Team Epic is.
Yeah,
like,
which doesn't make sense because Japan does stuff like that all the time. So why that's caught like, flack? I don't know.
All 400 episodes of Gintama have more copyright infringement than any second of Osamatsu-san. I don't get it.
I love it in manga and anime where they'll mention something and then they'll just like bleep out like part of a word or like just a character or something, so, and they'll they use that to get by like offending or directly referencing anything.
But yeah, in situations like that where it's like this art exists, there's no reason to not consume it, but it's been made completely unavailable forever. Like, yeah, you know, no one's getting hurt. But if you don't want to read Actage because A, it doesn't have an ending, and 2, it'll make you think about the dude who made it, who's a piece of shit, then yeah, I get that too.
I can't. The craziest thing to me is like they arrested him or whatever, or questioned him, and his response was, "They're not technically wrong," or something to that effect. When questions like, did you molest these girls, or they, you know, like, what do you say about these accounts? And he's like, they're not technically wrong. It's like, dude.
I feel like Japanese criminals are like really bad at that because the KyoAni guy was the same way. Yeah. He was just like, yeah, I probably did that. Huh?
It's such a strange, I don't know, cultural level thing happening there.
Yeah, anyway, good on Shueisha for fucking doing
Yes.
something about it.
Yes, thank you for doing the right thing for once. Because God knows you haven't done it before. And that was a new, actual, this series is trashing. So they actually made the tough decision for once.
Yeah, I bet it would have gotten an anime adaptation pretty quickly, pretty soon.
Yeah. Moving on. This was kind of funny. I don't know why this all leaked at once and then got further clarification. AT&T has been trying to offload not just some of their video game divisions. They're basically hemorrhaging cash. They're in a lot of debt. So they've been trying to find ways to pay off their debt. And in the process of doing that, they've had their video game studios possibly up for sale, and they also were trying to shop Crunchyroll around. And the first person they offered it to was Sony for $1.5 billion. Which is kind of crazy. Sony very much balked at that because Sony's net profit for this year is estimated to only be $2.5 billion.
Yeah, but Kate, I don't know if you heard, but anime is cool.
Anime's cool. Sony already owns a bunch of anime studios
Yeah,
and
if
publishers.
Sony fucking got Crunchyroll too, they'd have like the monopoly on anime.
Yeah.
They should do it. I'd do it if I were them.
They've got Aniplex and they've got Funimation. But they didn't have the cash in a video game launch year to even entertain the thought of paying that much for Crunchyroll. That was estimated to value each Crunchyroll subscriber at $500 a year.
We'll take it.
That's a high estimate where most people consider it to be 250 to 300 to 400 or something like that, maybe per customer per subscriber per year or per lifetime or whatever. I don't know how they measure that. But yeah, overvaluing the user base of Crunchyroll quite a bit.
Hey,
so
I can confirm I'm worth $500.
I'm worth at least like 20. I'm an outlier, though. Everybody else was worth more.
Mm-hmm.
And then another story came out that they were trying to offload Crunchyroll for at least $1 billion. So they went to Sony going, hey, and Sony's like, not for that amount. And then they were like, okay. But yeah, their stuff is for sale. Everything is for sale.
So before the first piece of this came out, there was an article about how Sony was trying to make anime their fourth pillar of their business.
That happened too.
Yeah, and so it kind of tied into this pretty closely. So obviously, they own Aniplex worldwide, which is the biggest anime company in Japan and worldwide, and Funimation, which is obviously the biggest anime company in America. And yeah, they have been talking about how they want to make anime as big a part of their corporation as, video games, music, and television. And that's a pretty big statement from a corporation like Sony. So yeah, when the first article came out, it kind of sounded more like Sony was initiating it to me. And based on that, but then the other part of it came out, and obviously Crunchyroll is definitely up for selling AT&T is definitely up for selling Crunchyroll to whoever will buy. I feel like the only companies who could reasonably buy it for that amount of money are Sony, Disney, Comcast, or Netflix.
Or Apple.
Keep it away from Netflix, for the love of God.
Right.
Jesus.
And I mean, if Sony did buy it, Netflix would really be their only major competitor. Sentai's a little indie company. Netflix is the only one with big money to fight them. So that would be their only competition. And I like the idea, if all goes as well as it did with, or had it happened, I guess it could still happen just for a lesser cost. If all went as well as the Funimation Crunchyroll partnership that lasted a few years, Like, that was as ideal as I could have hoped for. Everyone was basically in charge of the part of the business that they were best at, and no real quality slips happened. No prices went up. It was just everything was in the right hands. So I would love to see everything be under the same roof for that reason. Like, having to watch simulcasts on Funimation isn't great, and having to hope that Viz will eventually release some Crunchyroll licenses, or Discotek will put out their non-premium collections or whatever. It's definitely not as ideal as when Funimation, and they still are, was just pumping out the Crunchyroll releases, within a year turnaround time, and with collector's editions for everything, and for a reasonable price. And now that they have their Aniplex partnership, they're starting to do low-priced versions of their shows while Aniplex does the premium editions. So if that could all come together and everyone just, did the thing that they're best at, then I'd be super happy with that. We need to make sure that there's enough competition for them to not slide, and hopefully Netflix would provide that, and hopefully they would be aware that if they just completely botch it, then fan subbers will come back and they will take a bite out of their profits. So a lot of what ifs, but at this point, who knows if anyone's going to buy it, and I don't know if Sony is still the most likely, maybe for a lower cost, maybe in a few years.
Yeah, we'll see how the PS5 launch goes, since so much of Sony's business is wrapped up in PlayStation at the moment. Speaking of fan subbers, this is my segue. This is actually a good segue. Applaud me.
I'll accept it.
Kiss Anime, one of Anime's biggest piracy sites at the moment, has been taken down. I think this broke over the weekend, at least, or on a Friday or something. And it wasn't so much a situation where it's like, whack-a-moling it, where it's like, oh, that's down, but it'll pop up over here. It's like the files were physically removed. So I don't know if it was the ISPs that went in and were like, yoink, or if lawyers finally got involved. But that went down, and it had people going boo-hoo all over Twitter, and I just laughed.
Excellent.
Yeah. The days for fan subbing have long passed. It doesn't serve a purpose anymore, that it's not hurting the industry. And the industry does not have a lot of wiggle room. They are cash-strapped. The animators do not get paid anything. It's a tough business. So if you like anime, support it. If you can't afford things, there are plenty of cheaper ways to watch anime that are actually still legal. And take advantage of those. So.
I do have a tiny news thing. Kiss Anime is shut down forever. Hooray!
Were you, gone or something?
No. Wait, did you guys say that?
Oh my god, DJ!
Dude, I was looking at my phone!
Oh my god!
I'm glad that you're engaged in this conversation.
Well, the part before that I didn't really have any opinion on, and it turned into something else. Well, hey, everybody. My name's DJ. Welcome to the Fandom Post Radio podcast.
Cool.
Kestrel's over there doing a shot.
Second season yet?
I don't think we have, DJ. I don't think we have.
DJ's too good for us now. Senpai noticed us.
I looked at my phone for 1 second. Forgive me.
We've been talking about Kiss Anime being down for a minute or two.
That is not a long time.
Just your timing and all of that. We couldn't tell if you were doing a bit.
Yeah.
I was. It
yeah.
was a bit, and you guys didn't pick up on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a prank, you guys.
Yeah, come on. Obviously, I was paying attention.
Look, man, I'm on my phone too, but I'm still having this conversation.
Like anyone who pays attention to our podcast while we record it.
I'm actually engaged.
We're recording?
Engaged. I'm actually engaged in a conversation and doing match 3 on my phone at the same time. I can multitask. I'm also talking much better than I usually do because I've got to talk to
Okay,
people.
let's move on. I'm sorry.
Well,
What else do we
post
have?
radio, everyone. We're shutting down now because no one but me cares about it.
I care.
Not if you're fucking playing dumb games on your phone.
I have to multitask, otherwise I get like distracted, and then I'd be like DJ.
Hold on a second. You have to multitask or you get distracted?
Yeah, I had to be
How
doing
does
like 3
that
things at
work?
once. I had to be doing like 3 things at once, or it's like really bad. I had to be doing something visual at the same time I'm doing something audio, or
Shit. Okay,
brain
well,
goes someplace else.
let's move on. So, what else do we have for news? Because
That was it. Unless you have something to say about Kiss Anime going down.
Yeah, it's shut down forever. In case you guys haven't heard.
I haven't.
Oh god. Oh god.
DJ, how soon until your profits from Lessons in Love will allow you to buy Crunchyroll for $1 billion?
For $1 billion? Let me break out my calculator. Let's find out. 1 billion. Oh man, that's my calculator doesn't even go up that high. Let's just say it's 100 million.
Are you using an actual calculator?
No, I'm using my iPhone.
Why wouldn't you just Google it?
Because
it's on his iPhone.
Kestrel. Alright, so at the current rate, it will only take me 33,333 months of working on Lessons in Love to buy Crunchyroll.
Okay.
If the value depreciates by 90%.
Right. Yeah. Not bad.
So, what, that like 6 years?
30. Wait, what did you say? What?
That was a joke.
I'm
Obviously,
like,
33,000 months.
yeah,
More than 6 years.
yeah. That's like two eons or something. I don't know. Fucking though. That's a lot. 2 millenniums. I can
And
math.
it's actually 10 times that, right?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that won't happen. But hopefully Sony will buy it. Actually, I don't know. Sony censors fucking everything. And so I feel like a lot of the Crunchyroll shit would also be hit by that.
No.
I mean, they already own Aniplex and Funimation. I feel like the censorship is pretty consistent across the board.
There have been some uncensored shows on Crunchyroll in the last, year.
Look, the only thing I can remember going real bad for
None
everybody
of them have been
involved
good.
was that monster porn show.
Yo,
Yeah,
I'm watching one of those right now this season. But it's, not as porny.
Nothing is.
Nothing says porn
Yeah,
as
that
that.
literally was porn. So.
Even porn in Japan isn't as porny.
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, Crunchyroll has gotten a few uncensored things, but I feel like it's just like...
None of them matter.
Yeah, I mean, none of them matter, but I don't think it would be any different. For the most part, it's about the networks that your partnerships are with, and you don't get the uncensored versions of most shows because people want... networks want people to pay for the premium channels. So you just get the most censored version of them. And it's just a few partnerships that Crunchyroll has managed to get the uncensored versions of things. So I don't think anything about that would change. Based on, what we've seen in previous partnerships and acquisitions, I'm not concerned at this point that really anything would change. We would just have, more synergy between those brands as we have with Crunchyroll and Funimation in the past, and we have with Aniplex and Funimation now.
I wish I had as well as well of a thought out opinion on that matter. It's just I don't know really anything about that part of the industry, and so I'm always like, I hope it works out no matter what happens. And it hasn't been working out as well as it should be the last year or two.
You mean just in terms of
Just in terms of just how divided everything is.
Yeah. So the market, especially for simulcast, has definitely been fracturing over the past several years, and this would be a good opportunity to reunite some of that again, as this partnership had in the past.
It's like, because I have a huge sample to pull from with my Discord now, and we were talking about this the other day, and the amount of streaming sites that exist now are pushing people back into pirating, and it's not a good thing. No one wants to be subscribed to like 5 different services just to be able to watch everything they want to watch, and it sucks.
Are they talking about anime simulcasts in particular?
Yeah, anime simulcasts in particular, because the Kiss Anime thing, when that came up, like a lot of people on my Discord go to Kiss Anime, but like they all have Crunchyroll subscriptions. They have some of them have like Funimation subscriptions, because Kiss Anime has literally everything, and so the shows that aren't on Crunchyroll and are on a different service that they don't want to have to pay like $10 a month to watch one show for, they'll go to Kiss Anime for. Like, no one wants to pay $10 a month to watch one show. And a lot of, like, the current subscription model sort of forces you into doing that in a sense.
I mean, there's, most things are on Crunchyroll. There are a few things a season on Funimation. There's, like, 1 or 2 mediocre shows on High Dive, maybe.
This year isn't really a good example. It's more of a last year thing, because everything has been canceled this year.
Yeah, everything's been canceled, but also, like, a lot of people are putting their stuff on Funimation, which, isn't the best place for it. But, a lot of different companies have stuff on Funimation now. Aniplex has their stuff pretty much everywhere. Sentai has their stuff pretty much all on Crunchyroll and Verve. Or on Crunchyroll and High Dive, and then if you get Verve, then you get Crunchyroll and High Dive anyway.
But anything on Crunchyroll is fine. Like, pretty much everybody has a Crunchyroll subscription that I know of, but it's all of the other sites, particularly Amazon and High Dive, that no one ever wants to pay for. Some people have Funimation subscriptions, but I have friends who are super into anime, and even they don't want to pay for Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Yeah, and that was better when Funimation was on Verve as well. Yeah. And again, this would make me hopeful that this partnership could happen again, because back when we had that partnership, we had everything on Crunchyroll for simulcasts, except for, some stuff on Amazon or whatever. And then eventually High Dive made their way into the market, and then everything getting released on home video from Funimation, which was ideal. So, yeah, now that Aniplex is under that umbrella as well, I feel like that's pretty much it, because like even Amazon, I feel like we had maybe 1 simulcast per season last year and none this year, and then High Dive, it's like 1 or 2 this year, maybe 2 or 3.
I think there was something I watched in the winter season that was on Amazon. I can't remember. There was only nothing the last 2 seasons though.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems like there's really not that much outside of Crunchyroll and Funimation, or at least Verve and Funimation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I have no sympathy for anyone who says, well, but I don't want to pay, so I'm just going to steal it instead.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I'm not trying to rationalize their behavior. I'm just explaining like what they're doing. And,
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I definitely prefer the days when everything was on Crunchyroll. I don't know that I've had a single season where that was actually true since like the very early days of simulcasts. But this season is as close as I've come, with only 1 show not on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I wound up dropping both of my non-Crunchyroll shows just because I wanted to just keep everything on Crunchyroll. And I didn't really care about the 2 shows that I was watching on Funimation anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, rip in peace.
Yeah, so, we'll see how things go when we start getting a bunch of shows every season again, but it seems like a lot of the competition in the anime market has kind of died down in the past year. And, you still get a Netflix show, 1 or 2 every season that they take and, make you
When
wait.
are they gonna quit? They should just stop. They should just leave anime alone.
I mean, it's kind of good they're giving money to it, but it's also kind of bad that they don't take the time to freaking either just...
It's not even that. They just refuse to believe that Americans don't want to binge everything.
Oh my god, it's the worst.
Yeah, when they had Violet Evergarden, they fucking subbed it in English every week and released it in Canada, and then waited like 6 months to release it in America.
That pissed me off more than anything ever.
Yeah. So, yeah, Netflix is a little weird with that. The fact that they started doing like weekly simulcasts with stuff like Great British Bake Off last year made me hopeful that they would start doing with anime eventually, but so far no luck.
No, because they still have the subtitle shit, so fucking...
Yeah, but everyone does. They all get the materials way ahead of the time. There's no reason that Netflix would be any different. They just don't want to.
The problem... See, the bad thing is it's like Netflix is actually actively hurting their audience by like sitting on that shit until the end of the season because people want to watch it as it's coming out.
Yeah.
And when you sit on it like that, shit's not gonna... Oh, Doro, like, people are, like, still discovering it, and they're like, oh, this is great, how come I hadn't heard of this? Well, maybe because, number one, they don't fucking promote anything, and number two, it's like, yeah, you had to wait. Way after it came out in Japan, before you could watch it.
It's interesting, because, like, there's us, the otaku simulcast audience, us being me and DJ, Kate and Kate don't watch anime.
Hey, now.
What are you watching this season, Kate?
Nothing, because nothing interests me this season.
Anyway.
Everything Yeah, well.
There are some good shows this season.
I didn't say they weren't, it's just that the stuff I was planning on watching got pushed back, so...
What were you planning on watching, Kate?
I don't know, some garbage.
No.
Can't remember.
At least you've accepted that it's garbage.
Every show I inevitably end up watching for review ends up being garbage.
You should just choose one at random from now on. Just like put your hand in a box and just like fucking wind up watching.
Because they don't get like some
Moe
horrible...
trash show.
No, Moe trash show is not even as bad as like isekai, like fascist isekai show or something.
Fascist
isekai
shows. I forgot how big of a genre that is now.
It really is.
Anyway,
I was joking.
Yeah, so there's that audience. You'll remember I was mid-sentence. There's that audience who wants to watch everything weekly. And that's a big, vocal, nerdy audience. But it's true that the Netflix audience largely doesn't give a shit that an anime episode aired in Japan today. And when they see a whole series drop, they're probably more inclined to watch it than if they had to wait a week between each episode, especially when it comes out with a full dub and everything. And, every time an anime drops on Netflix, I see, like, a ton of the big media outlets reporting on it like it's the biggest fucking thing. And it's just because this is an anime that Netflix happened to pick up. They may not market it as well as their actual originals, but they drop it and it hits 100 million eyeballs, I guess 200 million. And if you've watched anime before, then it's going to show up at the top of your feed anyway. So their power in numbers still means that them having anime is a good thing in a lot of ways. They just don't cater to the way we want to watch it particularly, and I'm not going to stop being mad about that.
Yeah, it's like if they released it normally, I'd be totally cool with them doing it. But I feel like they've shown blatant disregard for the actual community that consumes the product because they're lumping it in with everything else, and that's not exactly how anime viewers want to watch their shows. We don't typically. I mean, of course we like binging things, but the people that keep up season to season like the episodes as they come out. No one wants to fucking wait an extra 4 months for something you have already.
Yeah, when it's like the actual Netflix originals where it premieres all at once in Japan and then premieres all at once in America at the same time, then I don't think anyone has a problem with that. Like
Not at all.
the fact that it's weekly isn't the problem. It's the fact that we know we could have it. The fact that it is available in Japan and fan subbers will make it available. So yeah, that's the problem, especially because it's not like they release it the day the last episode airs. They release it like a month and a half after the last episode.
It doesn't make
airs.
any sense. Why do they do that?
Yeah, it's weird.
Like, just give us the thing that you have.
But I do still think that, from their perspective, like we were discussing, with anime being mainstream now, it's hard for me to get an idea of how mainstream anime is because I've been so close to it for 20 years. But I have to believe that the mainstream audience of it is that Netflix audience who just wants to watch it all at once whenever Netflix gives it to them. And it's a lot more available to them through Netflix, which everyone in the universe has, than to Crunchyroll, which, has a shitload of paid subscribers, but 1% of what Netflix has.
We're discussing whether anime is mainstream or not, but I'm not really sure. I don't know. I don't know what the actual audience of anime is right now. Yeah. Or how big it is. It's like, I don't know if there's a good way to gauge that or know exactly how. You could say, before, back when we had social lives and you could go out of the house, you could say, anime, conventions are growing year over year over year over year, but you always had that situation where you're like, yeah, but how much are these people actually consuming? How much, we know they didn't have much purchasing power because I would hear it from, people in the dealer's hall being like, yeah, these fuckers don't actually buy anything. But, they do it for the community aspects, but then, is that, no doubt the community is larger than it was, 20 years ago, but it's still broken out of that, cluster of geeks, basically, that I've always gravitated towards it.
Yeah, the fact that, a convention can draw 110,000 people, that's definitely a good indicator that anime is pretty big these days. But I think I don't know, it's hard for me to know, do non-anime fans, does a guy who doesn't watch anime, as part of his lifestyle, just watch Attack on Titan like he would watch Breaking Bad? Has it entered that level where the big shows can just be subbed out for any Western drama?
I think
so. Or is it just certain fans?
I think so.
Watch anime.
No, I think that. Go, DJ.
My little brother just texted me, one of the three, just texted me the other day where he just watched anime for the first time from Netflix, and it was Erased, and he watched it like he would have watched any other drama show. Mm-hmm. Just because he had a friend that pointed it out to him, yo, here's a good drama, and it just happened to be anime. So there is a viewer base for Netflix anime that is not technically the normal demographic that would watch it, I guess.
So then I wonder if that demographic kind of needs it to be on Netflix. Would they go out of their way to watch Attack on Titan or something if it, I don't think
it's a good gateway.
Past the first season?
It's Netflix anime is a good way to get people into anime. But I feel like once they know how it normally releases, they won't like the Netflix model anymore. But
I guess it's just I guess it still sounds like we're still in this division between anime and other television, where you have a gateway anime that will get you into anime, and then maybe you'll go to your anime services and buy your anime Blu-rays from your anime companies on anime sites. But I don't know, it just doesn't. It still doesn't sound like Attack on Titan and Breaking Bad exist within the same realm. I feel like there isn't that kind of division between like, you know, I'm a Western live action drama viewer or I'm a Western animation viewer. I feel like those are all the same people. But then when you get into anime, it's like, oh, I watched an anime on Netflix. Now I'm interested in checking out anime. Where do I go to find anime? And that's a completely separate world.
There's also the entire generational thing where you take somebody, like, I'm pushing 40. You get people my age, unless you were watching anime since college, you're probably not picking it up now. You might watch the occasional Studio Ghibli film or something incredibly mainstream like Attack on Titan that, you know, people heard about in passing. But they're not going to go deeper than that. They'll never go deeper than that. They'll take something that they had heard about that was, like, hyped up to, you know, whatever, and they'll watch it because of that reason. But then you have the people like my friend who is very into comic books, very into, you know, like, that kind of stuff. And there were a couple of manga series that he was way, way, way into, one of them being Dorohedoro. So he's still up my butt about not watching Dorohedoro yet, because I just don't have a net. You say everybody has a Netflix subscription except me because, you know, I'm me. And so he's still on my butt about it because he's like, how come you haven't watched it yet? How come you haven't watched it yet? How come you haven't watched it yet? But even he was mad that we had to wait for it to get dropped because they were sitting on it. Because as soon as, you know, I found out that they were making an anime adaptation, that we were both watching, waiting for it to come out, like hawks, because it was like, you know, one of our favorite manga series, so, and, like, he's been into, like, you know, the occasional, you know, like, he read Pluto, and, you know, like, some of the other series that, you know, like, the more, I don't want to call them comic booky stuff, but, like, the really artsy-esque kind of weird shit, like, he was always into. Like, he had a copy of Tech on Concrete, you know, and, like, so it's like, but he's a comic book fan, so he knows what he likes, and he seeks out that kind of stuff. But you know, I still think we're in the minority, like, yeah, like, you get the normal people who are like, ooh, I want to watch that Studio Ghibli film or whatever, but in that kind of weird space, I do think that there is a much larger audience for the really mainstream anime nowadays, because I remember being at the movie theater for something completely unrelated, and it was during, like, you know, one of the Studio Ghibli fests or whatever, had a promo stand-up thing, cardboard, whatever, in the, at, like, Regal. And I remember seeing two women who had to be, like, in their 40s walk past it, and one of them said, oh, I really want to go see, and, you know, gesture to whatever movie it was that was being rerun. And I remember just being shocked because they did not see the type. They were going, you know, to some other, like, live action movie, and she totally knew what, you know, Studio Ghibli film it was, had wanted to see it in theaters again. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to watch, you know, where the mainstream ends and where, like, the hardcore begins and where you're getting the overlap and where you're not. It's very strange. It's all very strange.
When I went to see Weathering with You, when that came out, there were at least, like, 6, like, older Asian couples there. And it made me very happy to know that they were watching it with a bunch of teenage white kids.
Yeah, it was kind of, it's fun when those things happen, like, to see, like, women who I would not have you know, like, because there was a point where it's like, I remember going to see Spirited Away at one of the 2 theaters playing it in Massachusetts, in Boston, when that movie came out, and it was like, we had to go out of our way, we had to go into the city to see it, and, yeah, and it was a group of hardcore, you know, like, anime fans, but now it's like, yeah, you want to see a Studio Ghibli film, it's like, there's a thing happening, go hang out and watch it on a Fathom event. It's way more accessible. It's all way more accessible. So you do get that discovery aspect where someone will be surfing Netflix and they'll run into, like, a suggestion to be like, oh, go check this thing out if you like this thing, or, you know, your viewing profile suggested you want like this. and it could be anime, and if it's dubbed into English, you know, even better, because that's still that's the other, like, big wall of, like, people nowadays are more willing to watch subtitles, but there's still there's still a lot of people who, that's a huge, no, they will not read a TV show. So, so the discoverability is just there, which is good. But it's bad for us. It's bad for us hardcore people when they sit on this shit forever.
Yeah. Yeah, I still just, like I said, I've just been so close to it for so long that it's hard for me to know, where the mainstream begins. I'm just thinking about this hypothetical viewer who, like, I don't even know how people operate with just Netflix, because I love buying physical media so much. So, like, if a show is on Netflix, like, if Netflix takes down Breaking Bad and someone really wants to watch Breaking Bad, like, do they go and buy the Blu-ray? If they don't want to get HBO just for Game of Thrones, like, what do? If they want everything to be on Netflix, and that's never is going to be.
The people that want to watch Game of Thrones would borrow somebody's HBO account.
I guess so, yeah, everyone knows.
I feel like HBO accounts are the most shared account in the world.
You
It's
probably
gotta be Netflix, right?
Oh, probably.
No, it's gotta be HBO.
Well, I feel like
everyone has their own
Netflix.
Yeah. HBO, I feel like people have been stealing HBO since the dawn of time.
I guess
for like 40 years. So
Netflix still do like the DVD, like they mail it to you and shit, because I subscribed to them when that was like what they were known for.
Oh man, remember that?
Those were the good old days.
That down recently.
Oh man. Damn it.
Yeah.
That was so... it was like the greatest feeling to just go to the mailbox and be like, oh, my Bill Murray DVD is here.
Hey, Redbox is still a thing.
Yeah, but then you gotta, like... It's like the time thing, because I want to have the DVD and I want it to just sit there for a little while, and I want to bring it back at my own leisure. And, like, with Redbox, it's like a fucking ticking time bomb. Like, if you forget about it, you're suddenly, like, I paid $600 for this copy of the B-movie.
Jesus.
And it's just like, damn it. I could have bought, like, 300 copies of the B-movie for this.
Oh, man. Yeah, so anyway, like, if something's not on a streaming service, like a big show that people want to watch, maybe that just doesn't happen anymore. Like, if Netflix takes down Breaking Bad and people want to watch Breaking Bad, what do? Do they buy the Blu-rays? Do people do that?
Maybe.
And then would those same people, like, if only season 1 of Attack on Titan is on Netflix, which I think is the case, do they go to Crunchyroll or Funimation or buy Blu-rays?
I think normally they just give up.
They just give up.
Just give up. Like, when they took... Because they took Friends off of Netflix recently, and that was like mine and Becca's "We're Going to Sleep" show. And once Friends was gone, it's like, I guess we're watching How I Met Your Mother. And so that's just what we watch at night now.
I guess, yeah, not everyone is as obsessed with seeing certain things as, like, I am, where I will track down whatever version of it is available. I guess most people, the Netflix audience at large, just watches whatever Netflix puts in their eyeballs.
They're more of a fan of convenience than the actual property itself.
Yeah, I guess so. Makes sense.
See, that pisses me off, because I am very much in the Kestrel collector's mentality situation, where it's like, I'm waiting for The Witcher Season 1 and the Dark Crystal to hit Blu-ray, hoping beyond hope that, yeah, I know, I keep hoping that Netflix will release them, because Netflix has put out shows on disc in the past.
Netflix has released exactly one of their own productions on physical media, and it was exactly their most successful production.
Yeah, but man, I want it. I want it with all the bells and whistles, with behind-the-scenes shit. That's what I want.
People would buy the shit out of The Witcher. That would do well.
Like, our planet is, at this point, like, the pinnacle of the 4K HDR, one of the only ones in Dolby Vision, actually, of the nature documentaries. It would be the ideal candidate for a Ultra HD Blu-ray disc, but they refuse to release any of their stuff other than Stranger Things on home media, which means that you're inevitably gonna end up with some compression and lag and quality degradation from your internet connection because they make you watch it streaming. It's super shitty. That is probably my biggest problem with Netflix. Like, I don't like waiting for anime when I shouldn't have to, but the fact that I know I'll never be able to own Violet Evergarden, never be able to own Our Planet, never be able to own, Black Mirror or something, like that kills me more than anything.
I really want my special. I really want my, fancy ass special edition with all the bells and whistles, the director's commentary, the behind the scenes making of. I want all that. I want that. How do I tell these people I want that?
I haven't looked into that many, but like for Our Planet, since again I couldn't buy it on Blu-ray, they did have like making of features on Netflix, so they have those for some of their originals, which is nice. But yeah, like I have a massive, gorgeous, would cost $1,000 if it was the anime collection of Game of Thrones, and The Witcher is a similar kind of show, a similar kind of fandom. That seems like an ideal candidate for that kind of extravagant.
It would sell so well. There's not a doubt in my mind. Because Witcher pulled from it already had an established fan base before, like, the show even came out, and it only got bigger from the show. So there's not really any feasible way that they could fail.
But, their model is streaming, and they want to keep getting every human being on the planet to pay for a Netflix account. So the best incentive is make everything exclusive to Netflix. Streaming. Yeah, no, that definitely.
But they used to be in the disc business. They know that people want, there are collectors out there.
Yeah, they used to be in the disc business, and that's how they know that this is the right choice, because they shut their disc business down and, put everyone else out of business in the disc business, because everyone on the planet is like, I just want to fucking watch Netflix. It's super convenient. I don't have to think. I don't have to do anything. I just pay them $5 a month or whatever, $10 a month. And they just fucking beam entertainment into my brain, and I don't have to do a thing. And that's worked extremely well for them.
Yeah, well, I wish they would take a page out of, HBO's book and still fucking, think about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Be more like HBO, Netflix. Stop being pieces of shit. Give us what we want.
We are the vocal minority.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to be angry about this forever until the end of time. Unless I get what I want.
You're angry about a lot of things until the end of time.
Hey, man.
And no one actually cares about anything you're angry about.
This is true. Story of my life. Oh my god, people, stop texting my phone.
But
Would you prefer them text something else? Sorry, Kestrel.
The fact that, they pretty much every Netflix original is like a 4K HDR native Dolby Vision pretty much across the board production, and they don't release anything on the actual discs that allow that to be seen in its full glory. Like, that really irks me. Beyond just wanting to own things and have nice collector's edition boxes, I just want to be able to see it with absolutely no risk of quality degradation.
Yes, that too. But man.
I got into Blu-ray for Planet Earth, so I feel it.
Nice, yeah. Yeah, that was, when I bought my 4K setup, Planet Earth 2 was the first thing I got, along with Your Name, which was, the reason I got it when I did. So I watched those two back to back the first night.
Those are two of the prettiest things ever, so that sounds like a good night.
Indeed.
I don't even care if they decide to price it at a premium. Just fucking sell it to me. Oh no, I'm turning into one of those people. Oh no.
A Japanese person?
If that's what it takes,
premiums for everything.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a terrible idea, because it wouldn't cut into the market they're concerned about keeping. It would just be the hardcore collectors who probably already have a Netflix account. And,
I mean, it's not... This is the thing. It's like... It's really not going to cut into their revenue. Because people don't buy physical media anymore. It will... it's like, at the worst, it's like, yeah, you do a limited print run, whatever. Do pre-orders. I don't fucking care. Figure your shit out. Just sell it to me. Make the pretty collector's editions. I will give you money.
Yeah, like, I appreciate that, Funimation and Aniplex are doing what they're doing now, where Aniplex sells the super expensive premium editions. At least I assume they'll keep doing this. They only did it for one show so far.
Yeah.
And Funimation sells the cheap ones for people who just want the show but want to own it on disc. So, yeah, just doing the super expensive collector's editions for their shows and then streaming it for everyone else seems like totally inappropriate thing for Netflix to do. And I think that's... I don't know if that's exactly what they did with Stranger Things. They might have had a cheaper Blu-ray release. But yeah, that seems like everyone wins in that scenario.
Yeah. I looked it up. Apparently they have released other of their shows on disc. It's just...
that was the only
few and far between.
show that they own outright. Everything else was part owned by a different company, and the other company released it. Stranger Things is the only actual Netflix home video release.
Well, Dark Crystal's still Henson, so maybe I have better hope for that one than The Witcher.
Yeah, maybe. And, some of the anime that they slap Netflix original onto, I think, could definitely have a chance eventually. Evangelion has started to get released in other parts of the world. Could happen here if someone has enough money for it.
Yeah, that's Evangelion. Evangelion is a weird case.
Yeah,
but
it just got licensed by Anime Limited in the UK, and they're starting to do stuff in America as well. So it could happen, and a lot of the other anime that are exclusive to Netflix, some of them have come out from Sentai and other companies in the past, and Funimation.
Yeah. They released Castlevania came out on disc. The animated series.
Yep.
So
yeah, that was this release. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a better chance with anime than we do with, like, the actual full Netflix original shows. And Funimation had, like, the theatrical run of the Violet Evergarden side story movie, which made me hopeful that they would, release at least part of the franchise. But nothing of that so far.
Our terrible streaming present.
It's like we live in the best possible time. Like, literally everything you care about, you can just think about it and it'll be beamed into your head instantly. We just want, everything exactly the perfect way that we envision it.
This is America. We're entitled to that.
We are. We're very entitled, which, goes back to our previous discussion of, everything's not on Crunchyroll, so I need Kiss Anime. Like, no, fuck off. Don't watch the show or pay for
it. I wish life were easier than this already easy life that we live.
Yeah.
I like to own my media.
Yeah, it's already as easy as it could be. Now it's just, although I guess the streaming market in general is fracturing because the Netflix monopoly of a few years ago has now been challenged by, its 3 or 4 biggest competitors.
I wonder how much longer actual TV is going to be around for.
Yeah, why is that still a thing?
Right? I'm still paying for it.
What? You pay for TV?
I pay for TV.
What the fuck?
I watch baseball, and it's...
Dude, you have a house. Put a fucking antenna on, man. What are you doing?
Just an antenna?
Antenna, man. Yeah, an antenna. They're called antennas. Stick them on your roof. You get TV that way.
Just go to Home Depot and get one?
Yeah. They're cheap. They're like $45 or something for a good one. Point it in the right direction. Go on antennaweb.com or whatever. Point it in the direction that tells you to point it in. TV free.
I'm still too
Ooh.
young to understand
10
antennas.
1080.
Is this actually a thing that would work?
Yeah, 1080p over the air.
This doesn't sound correct, Kate.
DJ, I had just antennas all growing up. You're not that young.
I have antenna right now. I don't pay for TV.
I do. It's the only way. Well, I mean, I guess I could just pay for the MLB Network. But
Yeah.
I feel like nothing's
Do that.
more expensive than actually paying for TV.
Yeah, just like pay for the one, pay for the one subscription to the thing you need. Put up some bunny ears to get the local shit, and then what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
I don't know. Leave me alone.
You have money now. You can put antenna
I
up.
can watch the news whenever I want.
Man, you can live off of like $2K a month, and you pay for TV.
My fucking
insane.
yeah, and it's not cheap either. Like my internet
Cut that
and
cable, man.
TV bill is like over $130 for the month.
I mean, that's not that much more than me for just internet.
Yeah. But you can definitely, if you can get a cheaper deal without the TV that you're not watching, you might as well just stick some bunny ears up and go to town.
TV is the worst content for price ratio.
You're in a relatively built up area too, aren't you? Aren't you kind of near civilization?
I would be downtown in less than half an hour.
Yeah. Get look up the best antenna for antenna web. Go to antenna web. See what it tells you. You can get a cheap antenna. Stick it on your roof. You could probably even get rid of one of those little HD doodads and just slap on your wall.
What do I need other than the antenna?
You just literally you stick the antenna on your freaking wall. If you probably don't even need an aerial. I bet you could get away with one of those HD slabs that you just glue to your wall or stick on your wall or whatever behind your TV, and then you just plug the the cord into your TV. Done.
I feel like it would be more economical to just buy the MLB Network than to buy an antenna and set it up.
Well, I mean, you depending on where the games are happening. If they're local games for whatever.
Games,
if they're local games, then
that's why I can't get the MLB Network, because it blacks out the local games, and so I literally have to buy TV to watch them.
No, you don't. You just buy an antenna. So cheap, man.
Don't
Get
even
HD antennas.
This is not a real thing.
Kestrel,
not real. Antennas are fake.
I don't think you should get an antenna, but I certainly don't think you should be paying for TV.
No, you can totally get an antenna. You can get a cheap HD antenna.
Baseball?
Huh?
I said, are you suggesting I just give up on baseball?
Sure.
Here, I'm putting you a link. It's $15 on Amazon. Just buy a fucking antenna, stick it on your wall.
Kate's recommendation for the week is going to be antennas.
Mm-hmm.
Antennas.
All right, do we have any more
Cheap
anime-based things to talk about so we don't have a 10-minute antenna discussion?
I could talk about antennas all day, man. I love old weird tech. Oh man, I love weird shit.
That gets Kate engaged.
In analog technology. Oh yeah, man,
Apparently.
I'm all about that. Oh, I love analog technology. I love how they used to have to bolt everything together to make shit work. Oh, it's so good.
But have I talked about antennas lately?
Man, I found out how VHS recorders work and how VCR players actually work, and that shit is bonkers. That shit is crazy. I don't know how they managed to get that shit to work. No wonder VCRs break down.
All right, Kate.
Yeah, man. I can't even get into it because it's way too fucking technology thing. I was watching this thing about, I watched the Corridor Crew, behind the scenes, stunt stuff and visual effects, and they were talking about Mary Poppins and the scenes where the animated characters are dancing around with the live action people, and they got very confused because there was a scene where everybody in the scene was wearing multiple different colors. None of them could have been keyed out, and yet they were. You could see the animation footage behind them, so the guys are like, "Is that a matte painting?" And they're like, "No, it's not a matte painting behind them. It's nothing behind them." And they're like, "But you can see through a hat. How?" So Disney had this magical camera that had this prism inside of it that was splitting light onto two separate things of film, and they were shooting under this specific halogen lights or something, and that prism would split that color off onto its own film reel, and the other, like normal colors would go to like their own thing. And there was only one of these cameras in existence because they could only replicate the prism once. There was this one magic crystal that made better than like blue screen effects happen back in the 60s.
What even is this podcast?
This podcast is that's TV, that's magic, that's animation. That's
prisms are
magic.
Cool. I'll weigh in on
magic,
on the shape.
Magic fucking crystals, man. I'm telling you. Magic crystals. Anyway, right. I love that shit. I love that dumb shit. I love dumb shit like that. It's amazing that there's like one of these things in existence. They used it in like 12 films.
All right, anyway. moving right along.
No, this is cool, guys. It really is. I'm a film major. I think that shit's amazing.
Me too, and they didn't teach me any of this shit.
Yeah, antennas exist? DJ.
Antenna? We're not going to antennas again. We're going to talk about something actually related to the podcast this time.
What? That was animation. That was related.
I guess.
That's what mixing animation with live action.
Not really anime.
Well.
But it's a stretch, but we're here.
Anyway. Television.
We're done with news, right? There were no actual news pieces left over. Should we touch on the current season's progress? Because some things have happened since we last spoke.
Sure.
Cool.
Go nuts.
Yeah. Horse Girl and Fruits Basket. I love her.
I thought you would.
Yeah, and as soon as you sent me the message, I was like, yo, it's on. And I immediately watched the episode, and I was like, this is what I wanted this show to be. And I think she's my favorite now. And are we at like the dark part yet? Because it's like that part was pretty dark. I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely getting that material.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, this season's had some pretty heavy stuff. And who voices Rin? Do you know off the top of your head? Because I don't know, but whoever the fuck it is doing a great job.
No.
My anime list, Rin, Fruits, Basket. I'm gonna find out right now.
Riveting.
Mm-hmm.
Riveting, typing, television, searching, Googling.
I have a mechanical keyboard, so everybody got to listen to it. They could feel the emotion being pumped into each and every letter.
You're making fun of me and antennas, and you have a mechanical keyboard.
Yeah, well, I need a mechanical keyboard because I'm a video Game Boy.
Yeah, I mean, mechanical keyboards are, like, super popular.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Antennas are not.
I'm gonna make antennas cool again. Did you find your voice actor?
Almost there.
Okay, I found it. It's Aki Toyosaki.
Yep, I just said it as you said that. Okay. Yeah. Fuck yeah, she's great. I am super impressed with the crazy-ass breakdowns, and given that she's been in roughly 9 million shows by now, it makes sense that she's able to pull off a performance like that.
Yeah, I mean, she's got great range, because, you know, she's typically the Moe blob girl.
Yeah, I like this season more than the first season, I've decided. And I am very excited to see Hanajima play a princess.
That's right, yeah, you do love
I love the friends.
Characters.
I love all of the side characters are my favorite part of Fruits Basket, like 100%. I really do like Yuki though, and this season is like beating that into me even more. He's one of my favorite male characters of the last few years. He's like I like actually like him, and I rarely ever like the guy. He's just a cool dude. Like I want to hang out with him. You know?
Yeah, there was one line he had a few episodes ago, where I don't know. It's basically he describes his inferiority complex in like a single sentence, and I just paused on that and I was like, "This is my life
so real
in his screenshot of anime.
He's like really insightful, like because there was the fucking comment about his relationship with his mother too, where he's like, it's a shirt buttoned up wrong, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? That's so good. It's like such a normal thing, but it just like hits really hard.
Yep.
Yeah, he's good. Kyo sucks.
I wouldn't go that far. You might warm up to him.
I hope so, because we're like 40 episodes in, and I still just like don't like him. Like, yeah, he's got a pretty shitty life, but like, come on, man. You know?
Well, he's the tsundere.
Yeah,
you know?
it's tsundere males though. I'm not into guys, so they don't really have the same effect as me or on me.
I suppose so.
He has his moments.
Yeah, and definitely everyone, especially the main cast, will get much more, emotional complexity as the series gets closer to its ending.
Yeah, we're like probably a little more than halfway done now, because I think this was projected at 60 some odd episodes.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Cool. Yeah, I might read it afterwards. Maybe. It's pretty fucking long, isn't it?
Let's see. There are 12 of these. Yeah, I think they're omnibuses, 2 in 1, so there are 24.
Gotcha.
Originally.
That's not horrible.
Yeah, I read it all in, not that much time. I want to say a week.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. I'll do that. I have time to read now.
That's right, yeah. You have all the time.
I've been back on that Summer Pockets grind, and I want it to receive in anime now. It would work.
Yeah, but, it's that monkey's paw. Any key adaptation now is just going to be, mediocre to bad.
I want Kyoto Animation to get it. Please.
Well.
Please. Oh, wait.
I don't know if that'll ever happen again. It's been, 13 years since that's happened.
Has it really been that long? Oh my god.
I guess it's only been a little over 11 since After Story ended.
I'm gonna send them a letter.
I'm sure no one has asked.
Dear Key and Kyoto Animation, please. And that's all the letter will say. And they'll understand. Mm-hmm. And then just a frowny face at the end.
I think Key, at least for a while, was still up for it. It was just KyoAni wanted to focus on mostly, original properties, stuff that they own the IPs for. But, they went back
and really,
did some adaptations after that.
Not generate enough of a profit off of the Key stuff? Because I feel like Clannad is one of the most successful things that Kyoto Animation did.
Yeah, but, when you own the entire property, then...
Yeah, it's gotta be...
a much bigger cut.
Yeah, they've got to be making significantly more money, I would think, from original stuff. That's the only reason I could think of.
And I think, they just want to have, full creative control, and that kind of allowed them to, bring people up through the novel imprint and the awards like they do with their animators, and just kind of make it all a very tight-knit family of creative process.
Oh, but then you get some trash shows as well.
They've made one trash show.
Which one are you thinking of? Because I'm sure that we're thinking of different trash shows.
Really? Phantom World.
Okay, that's the one I'm thinking of as well.
Yeah, of course it is. It's their only trash show.
It was a very bad show.
It's a solid letter grade below anything else they've done.
It was horrible.
Which is amazing, because it's the reunion of the full... Haruhi and Key adaptation staff.
There was no reason for that show to fail, and it just did not do anything right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's their glass lip.
Oh no, don't say the G word.
It's 1 or 2 full letter grades above glass lip, but that's what constitutes
fucking
a glass lip
by
KyoAni standards.
Oh, I forgot about it until you mentioned it. I own that show.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Why?
Throw it away.
It was $1 on Right Stuff, and I bought it for the lulz.
That's every time there's any kind of sale on Sentai or Right Stuff, the High School of the Dead OVA is always $1 or $2. And Kane's always still waiting for it to get cheap enough for me to buy it.
Yeah, that's not a good
Still
show.
not worth it. You know, so something that's happening on the Fandom post, Chris has been doing like the 30-day challenges. So like a few months ago, he did 30-day Disney challenge, where every day of the month you do a certain thing, like your favorite Disney, whatever. And then last month it was 30-day film challenge, and this month it is the 30-day anime challenge. And I think day 2, I think Kate and I actually both contributed to day 1, where we talked about our first anime experience. But for day 2, it was your favorite anime, and he had a few different categories, but one of them was his favorite modern anime, and he gave High School of the Dead the best modern anime.
What?
Yep.
Oh, Chris. Oh, how the
Sometimes I
mighty
worry
have
about our
fallen.
boss.
No, I remember back when Sentai first released that, it was probably 2011. He gave the Blu-ray like one of his only A+.
Oh my god.
And then he just did the 10 years later on it, and he was going on about how it holds up as one of the best. And then he did the 30-day challenge for his favorite anime and listed that as the best modern anime.
I'm so confused and kind of disappointed.
Now, I will say it has excellent direction and excellent animation.
There's a scene where somebody snipes someone off of boobs. Like,
Yep.
that is enough to not be a good show.
Oh, it's not a good show. It just has good direction and animation. It is a bad show in spite of those qualities because of how bad the rest of it is.
There are a few shows that I acknowledge as bad that I still absolutely love, no matter what.
I mean, we all have those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just happens to be Chris's.
Yep.
I'm still waiting for a fucking third season of Korewa Zombie Deska. And I'm never gonna
That
get
was a mediocre show.
It was so fucking good. I fucking loved it so much. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. That was, back early enough where I would watch any simulcast that came out on Crunchyroll. So I did watch all of it. I think I watched all of the second season since I was invested.
The
It wasn't
second
terrible.
season was not as good as the first one. It's like started having a plot. It wasn't a very good one either. So it was more fun when they just like did stuff.
I guess. I don't know. You obviously like it more than me. I feel like I might have liked the second season better, but I didn't think either was particularly good.
Fun fact, Euclid Wood Hellscythe was my first body pillow.
I believe that.
I'm glad.
That's a show I have not thought about in many years.
I think about it every 20 minutes.
No, you don't.
That's not
no,
true.
You don't.
20
Yeah.
days is more accurate. Anytime I open the closet and I see you sitting in the corner,
Oh.
now I've got much nicer, larger body pillows. But anyway, what else we got from the current season? Oh, that show with the fucking the Misfit Demon King Academy. You dropped that when we last spoke.
Yep.
It's actually getting kind of interesting.
Really?
Yes, not in the fact that there is anyone who can challenge the protagonist, because he's still fucking overpowered as hell. But it's getting really kind of dark, which is cool, because Teacher Girl, and I guess spoilers for Misfit of Demon King Academy if anyone's actually watching that, she's like pretty like dead set on killing his mom and shit, which is a thing that's happened. Just everybody's trying shit to like make him sad, and they like just it's hard to describe because it's a fucking silly ass show, and no matter what I say, you're gonna like think it's silly, but it's serious. It's still not great, but it's much better than it was when we left off.
I don't think I will go back to it.
No, I understand that. And Rent-A-Girlfriend is still pretty much the same. They're trying to make the protagonist likable. It's not really working.
I figured they would attempt that eventually, and it would not be successful.
Yeah, there's a scene where he, like, jumps off of a boat to save Chizuru. And, like, they try to make him cool. But even then, it's like, you're a little bitch. So, they tried. One of the new girls was introduced, though, and she's fine, I guess.
Okay. Is it just a dumb harem, as I expected?
Yeah. I mean, what else would it have turned into?
I know. I just wanted to make sure
it's suddenly a heart-wrenching drama. Crime thriller.
Well, I mean, in its first few episodes, it tried to be a little different, and I predicted that it would just fall into all the same tropes you'd expect.
Chizuru still doesn't, like, have the hots for him yet, so that's good. She's consistent.
I mean, but doesn't she? Like, she was jealous by episode 2.
Yeah, and it's like, she still gets those moments, but then it's like, I don't know. I want to believe that she's better than that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my recap on the shows that Kestrel dropped.
Good to know. Well, I mean, one of them, I guess you said, is good now, but I feel like I have no regrets in what I
Good
dropped.
is still strong. I'd say Misfit of Demon King Academy is passable now. It's no longer bad. Like, now it's an okay show.
Okay. Have you checked out GP8?
No, and I have no intentions of doing that. Because, as you mentioned, it is one of the worst things that's ever happened. So...
I don't know that I said exactly that.
You may as well have said that, based on that fucking review. Kate, you might like that show.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Oh, no. What is it?
GP8. Didn't you say that that was almost the one show this season you watched and reviewed?
Yeah.
Of course it would be. Of course.
Yes.
The Kate curse.
Yep, the Kate curse was in full effect, even though I didn't actually end up going through with it. I thought about it. I was like, that'd be interesting. And then I can't remember why. I was like, no. And then, I don't know. But, yeah, it would have been full Kate curse in effect. So. Yep. The funniest thing was seeing guys online being like, that show looks like a show Kate would watch. I was like...
Actually.
Yep.
Funny you should say that.
I dodged bullet for once.
I think F- isn't quite right. I think he gets a G+.
A G+. I think there's only like there's two things. No, one thing I've ever given an F- to. And it was LDK. And Kodansha stopped sending us volumes of LDK after I put out that review.
So you mean like in a real review?
In a real review,
Did
yeah.
you give an F- to Asabi Asabase?
I didn't review Asabi Asabase.
I know. I just meant like in our...
Oh.
Because it's not like I actually...
No, I don't think I'd ever give anything an F- after like half an episode. That just seems rude.
Okay.
Like, I might have given it like a D-. That was just...
I feel like you definitely gave it at least an F.
I can probably search our thing for it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing right now. All right, F-.
Did I really?
So, yep.
Okay, well, fuck me.
And that show's good.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't give that an F-. I would give that this show is definitely not made for me out of letter.
I gave it an F-, or you gave it an F-. I gave it a B+. Kane gave it an S+, and named it the best show of the year, or the best anime of the year.
That sounds about right.
I love it. That was the best thing that year. Was the fact that was such a hard swing.
I could not
up and down the scale.
finish the episode.
It's a good show.
There were like 4 just pure slapstick shows that season, if I remember correctly, and
your least favorite
I watched
thing in the
them
world.
like back to back. I was like, what happened to anime?
Except, as I brought up recently, KyoAni, in particular Ishihara, is very, very much likes to use slapstick, like all the time. very common.
Yeah, but he's really good at everything, so he finds a way to make it work.
Yes.
Are you implying that Ishihara isn't good at everything, Kestrel?
No, he is my second favorite director, as he is yours.
Exactly.
It's just that he likes to use slapstick in everything, so it shocks me that you would hate it that much.
It's fine when it's not, like, the genre of the show.
You based that on 10 minutes
I
of
did.
the first episode.
But it's like 10 minutes of, like, there was boob slapping in the first 10 minutes. That's strong. You can't hit me with that right off
That
the
was
bat.
like 1 second of it, like 1 frame.
That 1 frame was a mistake.
Yeah. This is like almost Kate level of, like...
I can
don't know,
have my Kate
Knee-jerk
moments.
dismissal?
Knee-jerk
Yeah.
dismissal.
At least you watched 10 minutes more of it than Kate does before she was
That's true. I clicked play at first. Like, I had the intention of liking that show because I liked the character designs and the aesthetic was nice for the most part. But then, like, I didn't realize that it wasn't the show that I kind of thought it was going to be. So, I
It was
fell off quick.
also directed by another one of your favorite directors,
Who did that again?
Seiichi Kishi.
Yep, that makes sense. If you made me guess, I would have said that.
He definitely has the widest range of content.
He is all over the fucking place.
He also directs like 5 shows a season.
Yeah, that guy's out of his mind. But hey, at least he's probably getting paid well. So
Yeah, better than the animators anyway.
I would sure hope so.
Better than well below the poverty line.
Are they really that far below the poverty line?
Yeah,
sucks.
it's not good.
Animators can't actually make a living. Like, they all live with their parents or in dorms specifically for animators because they can't make a living, or also work at convenience stores.
Damn, dude, that sucks.
Yup.
That's why Kyoto Animation's so good.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. Well, there are a couple good things this season. So, yeah, I guess we could talk about those for a little while. ReZero is picking up. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I like the...
Still no Rem.
No, still no Rem. Frederica's teeth scare me. Thought I'd put that out there. Bakugo's in the show now, so because I mean,
Yep.
it was about time. It's only a matter of time until Bakugo showed up.
It's fairly accurate.
It's a long running fucking action series. He's got to be there. And Ram is shooting up the cuteness meter again because she's fantastic and I've always loved her and I like girls that insult the protagonist.
Are you a masochist by any chance?
Moving on.
Anyway,
Wow, no answer.
that's a question I'd never wanted an answer to. Yeah, it's very funny how Okamoto only plays Bakugo in everything now.
Oh my god, it's his only voice. Like he
never played Bakugo before.
He can do other shit, but I feel like just nobody wants him to do other shit anymore. It's just like, yeah, just do the voice. And he's like, okay. Just yells. So, good for him. That's cool. Sometimes you just need that one voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. You know, no $40,000 girl, but it's alright.
Yeah. I think they're making Amelia more likable for everybody. I think she's too far gone, though. Like, nobody's gonna... Rem could be sitting out for, like, 6 seasons at this point, and people are so in love with her that they'll just still love her the most.
Absolutely.
Also, Petra is super cute, and I'm sad now. So...
Yeah, did you watch yesterday's episode?
I didn't watch yesterday's episode, no.
Okay.
The arm was where I last left off.
Some very interesting things with Beatrice.
Yeah. she's always been interesting in general.
Yep.
So I'll probably watch that tonight now that I can fucking make my own schedule.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a strange ending to that episode. And do we actually learn shit about Beatrice now?
If by learn shit you mean have more questions.
Nice, that's even better.
I feel like every episode of ReZero ends the same way. Like, everything's going fine, and then horrible tragedy.
Yes, Subaru has a shit life, dude. It's cool that Elsa finally showed back up. I, kind of forgot about her.
It's been a while.
Yeah. It's been quite a while, and she hits you with that, I told you, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh shit, you did tell me that. I remember that from 5 years ago. So, cool. ReZero's still good. And you know what else is still good? Origairu. And very sad. I just want Yui to smile. That's all I want.
Yeah, I'm almost confident you didn't watch tonight's episode of that.
I did not.
It's, weird.
I don't know what that means.
You'll know when you see it.
Does Hachiman finally confess his love to Totsuka?
If only. I mean,
Why didn't you
do
answer that
every
question?
episode?
That's true. I'd be fine with
Yeah,
a Totsuka ending.
It's an episode that has a thing that you wouldn't expect to see. And you'll know what I mean as soon as it starts.
You guys hear me? I might be breaking up right now.
We heard nothing but the last breath of that. Whatever you said.
I heard that. Do you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, now I hear you again. I've been cutting in and out, and so I don't know what's going on.
Aliens. This just in. Safe containing over 1 million yen in cash stolen from Ninja Museum.
They have a ninja museum?
I know, huh?
I mean, why wouldn't they? If you were Japan, wouldn't you have a ninja museum?
That's true.
We have 100 museums about every event in American history.
We have so many museums, oh my god.
Ninjas are fucking cool.
I like the Museum of Bad Art. It's a pretty good museum. Yep.
Anyway, did you say anything of consequence, DJ?
Well, the last thing that I remember saying was Totsuka ending, and then I didn't hear anything that you said after that. And so I don't know in what context the latest episode is weird, but I am interested in finding out, because this isn't normally a show that gets weird. So that's piquing my curiosity.
It's just kind of like a little gag, but it goes on for a while, and it does things that you wouldn't expect.
Interesting.
Yep.
You'll
know when you see it.
Huh. Okay. All right.
Yeah, those two shows are good.
Yeah, everything else. Well, yeah, Fruits Basket's good too. Everything else, you like God of High School.
I do like God of High School. Shokugeki no Soma is more bad than I want to admit.
Yeah, I saw I think it was a tweet about it the other day, where you're finally coming to terms with it not being good.
Yeah. Man, that show used to be really good. I used to care about it a lot, and now it's just
it's been weird for me, because I only watched the first season of that show, and I loved it. And so, hearing the slow transition of everybody who used to love it suddenly just not even caring about it anymore, it's strange, because I'm so confused about what may have happened.
I mean, it just kind of, lost its creativity. It's just going through the motions and, shitting out the formula for what makes Shokugeki no Soma without having any, actual inspiration.
It's still just a food battle every single episode.
Yeah, it's the same food battle that goes through the same beats and the same reactions and the same metaphors, and it's just copy paste over and over, and
upsetting.
it just gets stupider and stupider. Like, it's trying to be stupid, but it's too stupid. Like, I can't accept it. I can't allow it to be this stupid. The latest battle, okay, so there's like this group of super dark evil villains who are, you know, cooks and whatever, and they all have the most absurd gimmicks, and you're supposed to be taking it seriously, kind of, maybe, I don't know, but like, one of them, who's this super strong cook person, makes all her food with a chainsaw.
Oh my god.
This is what the show has turned into.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I miss when, like, the crazy twist was like, this guy uses a special spice.
Yeah, no, she makes everything with a chainsaw, and
why?
then there's another member, because she's like super hardcore and she's like from the military.
They don't use chainsaws in the military.
Yeah, I don't know. And then there's like a clown character in the group, and so he like has clown balls where he just like puts all the ingredients in and like juggles them.
This doesn't
that's how he
sound
cooks.
good anymore.
No, it's just dumb and gimmicky.
Oh no, it's the worst thing that could have happened. Did they run out of normal ways to cook?
In place of... What?
He swore.
I said, did they run out of normal ways to cook?
Did we lose DJ again?
I think so.
I'm here!
What did you say?
Okay, I'm going to try to say this one more time, and I'm going to hope that I don't break up. Did they run out of normal ways to cook? And this was just like the last-ditch effort where it's just like, fuck, dude, we're not done yet.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it, because even the plot, which had already lost steam, wrapped up last season. So I assume what happened with the manga was like the Bleach situation, where the creators were like, I want to keep getting paid. And then eventually Jump was like, yeah, wrap it up, guys. You're past your prime. That's my assumption anyway, because it had a very clear ending, and it has, I think it's only going to be one core this final season after the very clear ending. So it seems to me like it should have ended, and they tried to make it last longer, and then the editor said nope.
Well, I'm glad they cut it off when they did, because this doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, it's not, and I think the only reason I'm still watching it, besides the fact that I'm just been invested for so long, is that it is the final season, so, you know, I only have to give it a few more episodes. I don't know if it's supposed to be 2 cores or not, but I'll probably survive through
Might
it.
as well just stick with it.
Yeah. But yeah, very disappointing, especially since it is the final season. Like, just to see this steady decline in quality and this final season just being absolute nonsense. It's unfortunate.
Well, since DJ keeps breaking up on us, and we're at 1:43, let's start wrapping this thing up. Recommendations?
Sure. So, something that just came out 2 days ago, which allegedly got delivered to me yesterday, but in fact did not. Fortunately, Best Buy, like, sent me a new shipment as soon as I asked, so that's cool. Hopefully this one actually gets delivered to me. It is the Your Name Steelbook. So if you missed out on the original limited edition of that 3 years ago, now you get another release that's pretty nice. And, you know, obviously I own the Japanese 4K Ultra HD super fancy premium collector's edition, as well as the Funimation limited edition. But this is also a nice release, so I'm buying it as well. Also, some more steelbooks of great anime movies coming out next week. We have a couple more of G-Kids with their Ghibli steelbooks. So this time we've got Kiki's Delivery Service and Nazca of the Valley of the Wind. Another couple movies that I have bought several times. And then another release in a couple weeks is the first Blu-ray limited edition of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Set 6, which is the first set of Part 5, the most recent season of the anime. So yeah, if you've been collecting those, this one looks weirdly different than the rest, but still JoJo, still on Blu-ray. I assume it'll still come with all the extra goodies, so check that out.
All right, I have 2 pre-order recommendations, both of which come out in September, and both of which are not really fancy, but they are shows that I like, and so I will recommend them anyway. The first of which is The Wasteful Days of High School Girls, which is coming out on Blu-ray on September 22nd. Super, super fun, and also slapsticky comedy, featuring a whole bunch of girls in high school that has 1 or 2 just surprisingly poignant episodes, and it's weird. They hit you out of nowhere, and they are very real, and I will recommend this show to fucking everyone because I love it so much, and I don't know anyone else that's watched it.
So, besides a few poignant episodes, you just described Asobi Asobase?
Okay. I don't know how the characters are written in Asobi Asobase because I didn't give it much time. But every single character out of the 12 in this show are all just pure archetypical depictions of that character that wind up subverting them. So that's cool because I always like the subversion of archetypes, and that's fun. And I don't know, man, it was just really funny. There aren't a lot of shows that I actually laugh at. And so if a show can get me to laugh in the first episode, I'm going to keep watching it.
All right.
Sorry. I didn't like Asobi.
No, it's cool.
Sorry. Yeah, Kane would like this show too. So Kane, if you're listening to this podcast, which I know you're not, you should watch Wasteful Days of High School Girls. Second recommendation is a slightly less funny and slightly more realistic show about girls, and that's Sakura Quest, which is getting released again on the Essentials Blu-ray complete thingy on September 8th? September 8th. So you can get that for $26, which is well worth it. That's like $1 per episode, and it's just a token PA Works working girl show about a girl that goes to a fucking random town in the country and becomes the queen. So don't ask any questions. Just watch it and see what happens because it's some weird shit, and it's a lot of fun. That's all I got.
Cool. My recommendation is not for an anime. It is for a game. Spiritfarer came out this week on, I think, everything. It had been in early access, but I think it's out on Switch and PS4 and a bunch of other things, probably Xbox. I think it's on Game Pass. So basically, you can get this in any way, shape, or form. It is a 30-plus hour kind of management sim about you playing as a character that is basically the new death fairy person, and you're trying to ferry spirits to the afterlife, but they're all kind of anthropomorphic animals, and it's just cozy, and you have a boat, and you upgrade your boat, and you travel around and make food for people and just chat and hug people. And you have a sidekick who's a cat, and you can hug the cat, and it's all very cozy and beautiful, and it's beautiful 2D animation, super fluid animation. It's just gorgeous looking. So if you're looking for a cozy game to sink a lot of hours into in this time of woe, this is pretty cool. And I've been enjoying it a lot.
I could have sworn you were going to recommend Antennas.
Also, yeah, if you're overpaying for cable, cut the cord and get an antenna. What are you doing with your life? You're not watching all those channels anyway. Don't feed the cable companies.
DJ, have you seen Nichijou yet?
No, I've been wanting to watch it for 800 years, and I just haven't. I've seen a bunch of clips from it.
I don't know if you'd like it.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It's got some slapstick, man.
I don't hate all slapstick.
I feel like
I hate, like, the slapstick that I don't like. You know, fuck you guys.
Yeah. I feel like its sense of humor is very much in line with Asobi.
It seems, yeah, there's definitely a chance that I won't like Nishijo because I don't like the aesthetic of it either. But I've heard so many good things about it that I just, like, I feel obligated to watch it. And I would imagine I'd enjoy it because everybody else seems to enjoy it. But there have been times where everybody...
Like the aesthetic?
Like, there have been other times where everyone likes the thing and I just don't. So, who knows?
But it's so cute.
How do you not like the aesthetic?
It's, I don't know, they're not cute enough, I guess.
Oh
What?
My God.
What? How?
They're not moe.
Yeah. I have a thing that I like, okay? Sue me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that very, it has very simplistic
It's like chibi
character
art,
designs,
basically.
but it's crazy good animation.
Yeah, the animation does seem really nice.
And it just uses those very simple designs and very clean. It's not like, Mob Psycho where it's very like crude and dirty. It's very clean, very simple designs that just go crazy with animation.
Yeah, I want to give it a shot. There's a good chance that I'll like it. But don't hate me if I don't.
Wow. It's okay. I mean, we put up with Chris and
he thinks High School of the Dead is the best anime.
I mean, Kate actively hates everything I like, and she hasn't seen 99% of it. So, I can.
This is untrue. We agree on many things being very good.
Uh-huh.
Like FMA.
Yeah, well, everyone agrees on that.
You don't know. You don't know that. I bet there's somebody out there that hates it. There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah, I mean, certain things, there are people who will just hate it to be different.
I don't hate things to be different. I can at least say that. I hate things because I hate things.
Yeah. Because most of the things you hate, you've never seen.
What the heck is that, Shield Hero?
That is an example of one of the hundreds of things you hate, having never seen it.
Yeah. Shield Hero. That's good, right? That's a good example. Can't think of any others right now.
Well, everyone can go listen to our last 81 episodes for more examples.
I do like things. I actually have a really high tolerance for mediocre garbage.
Yeah, you only like bad things. You hate good things. That's how it works.
I mean...
You like obscure things. You're a hipster. We've been over this.
Yeah, maybe. I might be a little bit of hipster. Not even that obscure, just...
You like things that no one cares about.
There you go. That's why I don't watch TV shows anymore, because everything I like gets canceled. So
like
accurate.
More normal things.
I don't like the normal things, though. Things I like, not enough people like. And if I start liking something, it gets canceled, so...
Like The Witcher less,
Yeah.
because I don't want that to get canceled. Because I really enjoy that.
But, I mean, you don't actually know if you like the show, right? Because you don't have Netflix.
Yeah, see, I haven't seen it. I like the game.
Oh
I
shit,
like
you haven't
the
even
books.
watched it?
Maybe I'll hate the show.
What the
I don't
fuck
know.
is this? It's really
What?
good.
Yeah. And I like the games and I like the show. And I've heard the shows... I mean, I like the games and I like the novels, so yeah, I want the show. I don't have Netflix, therefore I have to get it on disc. That's why I want it on disc, and they're not releasing it on disc yet.
Probably ever.
There's a method to my madness. I hope they do. If I bug them. Maybe I can find the right person to bug.
I'm sure.
That never works.
Anyway.
Castor, where can you find us?
You can find us where you find podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If iTunes and Google Play still exist, also there.
I think it's just called Apple Podcasts now.
All right. iHeartRadio. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, Stitcher. We have an Alexa skill. You can find us on fandompost.com. You can find us on Twitter and Facebook at Fandom Radio, and get in contact with us at fandompostradio@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter at FullMetalKyoma. I tried to tweet a thing or two, but I don't have any followers, so nobody reads them. So I'm probably going to stop tweeting things again.
I'll read them.
Aww.
Well, you need to, acknowledge them, or else I assume no one reads them.
I'll acknowledge them more.
It might just be...
I acknowledge this.
It might just be a thing where I follow so many goddamn people that you could have said something and I never saw it. That happens.
I mean...
I follow a lot of people.
That's the thing, I feel like I should be posting things on Twitter, but at most, it's going to be you guys who see it, so I might as well just post it in the chat instead.
Well, yeah, with that attitude, you're never going to get any followers. You got to go out there and you got to appeal. Hashtag Justin Bieber. Do some stuff, Kestrel. You got this.
I guess. Yeah,
No. It's Korean. It's K-pop stars now.
Yeah, just comment on a lot of fucking K-pop videos and be like, wow, I stan, insert K-pop star here. And then you'll get followers.
Okay.
I still don't know what standing means, by the way.
It's from a song about an obsessive fan whose name was
the Eminem
Stan.
song?
Yes.
Why did they turn it into a verb?
I
don't know. Yeah, considering the song's a high negative, and now people are like, I stan whatever.
Great
It's
song,
like, that's
but
not
it's
actually
like
a good thing.
Who kidnaps his pregnant wife and drives the car off a cliff or some shit. That's not a good thing to do. Well, anyway, you can find me on Twitter at DJ No Style. I haven't been tweeting as much, but I'll try to for all of you guys.
Yay! You've been tweeting. I've seen your tweets. You're like, yeah, people like me.
I
Yay!
tweeted maybe
That's
5
most
times
of
in the
these
last 2 weeks.
Yeah, you better
Yeah.
look what.
Yeah, I mean, compared to DJ's normal output, he's basically...
My
on
last
Twitter
tweet
now.
was 4 days ago.
Wow, that's really off your game.
Well, I
for
mean,
you.
everybody that cares about me is in my Discord now, so I just talk there.
That's sad.
Yeah, it is just all you talking about how successful you are.
I want to rub it in the faces of all of the people who just, never acknowledged me. So, I'm going to be doing that for a while.
It's been a month. It's been a month since you've posted anything, but this is how successful you are.
Good. I've been waiting fucking a long time for this.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
You can find me on Twitter at SonicBug. I am still posting on Twitter, although I keep missing my Fridays because I've been off and doing shit. Yeah, usually on Fridays I will retweet everything I've done, that's gone live. So, including this podcast. As I yawn into the microphone. Thank you for joining us. If you have any ideas for topics you'd like to hear us discuss on this here podcast, please contact us at one of our many various locations. You can even respond in the topic as it gets posted on the website, but Twitter might be the easiest way, because I do monitor that kind of, sort of. And Kestrel does as well. And thanks for listening, and go back and listen to our old episodes if you find the topic interesting, and we hope you tune in next time for Fandom Post Radio.
Me too, that'd be cool. Bye!
See ya.